Hello, welcome to Sabretooth at Nethemba, where we care about your security. Try Hack Me Tuesday, we're doing all in one. The last system we did was a hard system. We did Kotarak on Hack the Box. This one down here. And so this time we are doing an easy one, just because if you're going to do hard, then you can do easy, and then maybe next time we'll do a medium, who knows, or an insane, who knows. 45 minutes, so hopefully it won't be too bad. And it does say here it's a fun box, so that's the first time I read that, where you get to exploit the system in several ways, a few intended and unintended paths to getting user and root access. So it looks like there's not just one way of doing this, you see. Practice several ways in exploiting the system. So cool. It says give the machine about 5 minutes to fully boot. It's been 2 minutes so far, but we're going to start this running anyway and see what happens. We're going to nmap, we're going to T5, we're going to do all ports and just run that and see what's up at the moment. What's up, doc? And then we're going to run it again with the A flag just to get a bit more information about this. But we've got FTP, SSH, and HTTP, which is pretty standard, quite honestly, for a box, especially an easy level box here. So we've got web. We've got FTP. The first thing we should do is check for anonymous FTP, and it's show that it's allowed here. And then of course we've got this website here, which looks like a default page, so maybe some GoBuster on there as well. Let's take a look. We will run a scan again a bit later because it says 5 minutes to fully start up, and we've only been 3 so far, so we'll give it the benefit of the doubt for now. We will try we'll try this anon login right here. But before we do that, let's actually give this a entry in host as well. So sudo nano etc hosts. So try hack me. We're going to put in this IP here, and we're going to do all in one io.thm, which I think makes a lot of sense. And that way I don't need to be thinking about what is the IP all the time. Whilst we're here as well, let's get our own IP. Just so we have that. And has it been 5 minutes? It's been 4 minutes, so I'll give it another run in a minute. The first thing we're going to do is check out this FTP. FTP io.thm. I'm going to be doing that all the way through, you know that, don't you? Username anonymous and password nothing, and then we're going to see what's in here. There is nothing at all interesting. Well, echo moo into moo.txt, and now we're going to see if we can put files on the FTP as well, which we can't. So although it does have anonymous access, we can't write to it, and we cannot, there's nothing on there for us to read. So FTP for now seems like a bit of a dead end. Port 21, anon allowed, but nothing there, and cannot write. That's the best way I can put this for now. So we know to ignore that. Everything seems to be on the web port then, I guess. So now it's been 5 minutes or so. We can try running that scan again. And see if there's anything different this time. Okay, let's http io.com. Nope, .tum. And this is a default page, probably nothing weird about this, but we can have a look anyway. Sometimes worthwhile doing. But not in this case, but there we go. We can look for robots.txt. And that doesn't exist either. And that means that we are doing our GoBuster as usual. So we are, yeah, there's nothing different here. That's fine. So let's just do this from the watch machine that we did last time. GoBuster, the URL is here. All I actually need to do is change that to that. And then we have the word list, just running the small list. We'll give it 20 threads as not to fully overload it, but it should be a bit quicker than the 10 that are twice as fast. Obviously it's default. We've got a WordPress directory here. There could be something else, but for now let's go there. Yep, that worked. Well done. So I'll let that load. We've got hackathons as well, which is quite interesting. Let's grab that. The fact that that is in italics. I wonder if it's like Vignir cipher coming up, because it sounds like vinegar, I suppose. And there's also something at the bottom here. Keep going. What is this? I mean, maybe that is Vignir. Hang on a minute. Goog. I'm not sure which one to choose. No, we need a brute forcer. Oh, we've got a solver here, which I seem to have used in the past for something. Let's try this one. I mean, there's not much to go on here. Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I don't know, to be honest. But although keep going, the fact that it's written like that, maybe that's a password. Maybe that's a password. Huh. Okay. Let's try that again. Just going to use any decoder. We're going to put in this here as the ciphertext. And then we can put in the password here. That didn't help at all. Okay, so I'm not sure what that's about. I will make a note that it's there in a moment, but for now, let's just take a look at this. Okay. We will do that. For now, let's focus on WordPress, and I'll come back to hackathons. I know that it's there, because we can run WP scan or something similar. So we may as well do that straight off. Do we need H for host? Oh, URL, okay. So I'll do that and just see what it comes up with. No, I'm not going to update. Not this time. Right. Upload directory has listing enabled. Interesting. Mail. Never heard of Mailmaster before. And we've got Reflex Gallery. So we've got a few. We've got a couple of plugins here as well. Okay, let's make a note of this then as well, I suppose. I could look for users as well and try some brute force on their passwords using WP Scam. I could look into these plugins as they've come up. Let's take a look. Mailmaster version 1. So we'll do them in order. Let's look at this one first. Oops. Search exploit mail. So we've got a local file inclusion, we've got SQL injection as well. So we could get into the database using SQL injection. Local file inclusion, maybe we could load the WordPress config file and get some credentials. So I mean, either of these are going to be quite useful, I guess. So we will start by looking into this, and then we'll move on to the second thing afterwards. Technically, what you should do is get all your enumeration done first, and then say, right, I've got this to look into, and I'll come back to this now, and then the next thing I'll do next, whatever. Do them in order, but I'm not doing it this way this time. We're just literally going in order, and if this doesn't work, we'll move on to the other thing, and if this doesn't work, we'll move on to user enumeration and brute force, and if that doesn't work, we'll go into the hackathons directory and stuff like that, right? Right, file inclusion. So proof of concept would be WP content, plugins, mail master, etc password. So we can actually try that straight off. Oh, and that actually works. That really does work. Okay, so we've got some local file inclusion. Leads, let's do. We've got some LFI right here. I can already see a user here, Eliana. Okay. Let's get a screenshot going of this, just so I can throw it into the whatchamacallit. Show that it works okay. Bang, right. So let's see if I can find this config. Is it WP config file? I think it may be that. Or is it WP config without the... I can't remember. WP config, let's have a look. Yeah, it has got the dash in it. So we'll move back to that. And what we'll do is you just move back a directory from our current one. Okay. And then we'll move back another directory. Nope. And then we'll move back another directory. Yeah, maybe not. Oh, hang on. That did something. There's nothing in there. Okay, I don't think it's going to be this far back, to be perfectly honest with you. So that's rather interesting that happened. I'm not entirely sure though why it didn't show me the contents of the file, because that's exactly where I would have gone for this one. What I could also try is I could do like var www.html / what directory in WordPress, right? Could try doing that, but that doesn't work either. Interesting. Okay, so I'm not able to get the WordPress directory thing happening, so I'm trying to think what other what other files I could do, and in failing that, I could try the SQL injection perhaps. Does that make sense? Or look into this hackathons directory. I'm not sure about that either. I've not got T. I need to go get T. So I'll do that and I'll have a think about this. But I think in the meantime, I'm going to run this again. I'm going to sneeze as well. Run this again. Oh man, excuse me. And I'm going to enumerate users. I think Eliana may be a user. So I'm going to let this run, and then I'll be back with tea, probably. Got lucky the kettle was hot. So that's also found Eliana. This... I mean, it can load etc password, but having said that, that is a text file, isn't it? Whereas if I'm loading a PHP file, it might not load the code of it. It might load it in, and it's rendered rather than displays as text. So there's one way to find that out, I guess. Count of send.php is our current file, and if I try and load this in, do I get the code of it? That didn't work, but I'll tell you what I could do. I could try just loading in index.php, which is the main index file, and go back a directory until it works. And I want to see if I get the code or if I get the index page. I was just thinking about that a minute ago. I mean, it's not loading in right. Huh. So it does load in the index page, but not the index code. Okay, I need to load the code. So let's find a way of doing this. Go back to Google. What we're going to do is PHP filter base 64 is what I'm looking for. Conversion filters base 64 encode or whatever, right? So we can use any of these. So there's PHP with output. Okay. Okay, advanced local file inclusion. So let's take a look here. I know of a few ways of doing this, but this one I don't use very often, so I thought I would for a change. Normally it's like file filters, but I suppose PHP filter makes the most sense in this case. Let's have a look. I don't think file filter would have worked. So that's a local file inclusion, no problem. With nothing returned, maybe the file doesn't exist. File stream wrappers. So here, PHP filter read, it converts in base 64 resource index.php, right? So if I now go back to this, I go back to this, and I do this as a PHP filter, and the resource this time is index.php, it won't find it. You go back a directory like I just did, and it doesn't find it, and you go back a directory, and it doesn't find it. Eventually it will. There we go. And this is the base 64 encoding of this page. So if I now look for wp-config.php, I'm not sure how many times I've got to go back or whether I already missed it. I should have started from the beginning, really. Here we go. So we try to load wp-config.php, but it renders the PHP rather than shows the code. Therefore, we use PHP filters with base 64 encoding, like this. That gives us this, which decodes to PHP code, in theory. No? It's taking a while. Might be quicker to do it on the here. So echo this into base 64 decode. Bang. There we go. I beat the website. So now we've got all this stuff, right? Okay. We use base 64 decode in terminal to get. There we go. So this should go away. Useless site. So this should contain, I would hope, oh, unless it's WP settings, which it could be like database credentials or something. But auth keys, secure auth keys. Database table names. Aha, you see? So as you can imagine, that is going to be rather useful. And let's put a... It needs the sound effect. Okay. So that should... Although it's the database... is it? Yeah, okay. I've got the database username and password, but I'm wondering whether that allows me into... It's wanting to find out, isn't there? Nice, that lets us in. Remember later. This allows access on the admin login for WordPress. Good. So far, so fine. However, it's taking ages. Can I right-click open a new tab to hurry it up? Sometimes it works if you open it in a new tab, sometimes not. WordPress on these systems are so slow almost every time. I don't know why. Okay, we'll get rid of you and you. We'll get rid of... keep hackathons there, just in case. This is going to take ages. So if it loads, I'll be back. As expected, the one which I started in a new tab was loaded, and this one still hasn't. I don't know why it does that. But here we are. The admin email verification page will reaffirm. Okay. So, oh, now it's loaded. There we go. We don't need it open twice. So we're going to go to, what do we normally do? Appearance. We do theme and stuff, don't we? Appearance, theme editor. We can go to the, yes, I know, go away. We can go to the 401 page, which is 404, that's what I meant to say. 404 page, thank you very much. And we can put our reverse shell in here, as we've done so many times before, but not for a while, I must admit, not for a while. I'm going to clear this. Let us cat shells followed by php reverse shell.php. We're going to paste that in. We need to edit our IP addresses here. Grab that, paste here, move up to the top, near the top. THM IP ends in 145239. Is that right? One 145239. That is correct. So all I need to do is activate this IP and comment out the box IP. Port 1234. So we're going to save this and hope we've got rights to save. Update file. Unable to communicate back to the site to check for fatal errors. What? Why is it unable to communicate back? I've never ever seen that error before. Can we load this again? That's an unusual one. So let me Google this one. I've never seen this before. Disable all plugins and re-enable them. It's called by a WordPress update. Huh. Okay. Well, let's get to plugins then. Disable all plugins. I mean, it doesn't look like any are enabled. From what I can see. Deactivate. Critical error on your website. What is happening? I really don't understand this. We can activate one at a time. Okay, so maybe I can't do it this way. Maybe I can't do it this way. What I can try though is I can try a different theme, for example 2019, and see if that works, or 2017. Let's get to theme editor and try a different theme. Let's do 2017 instead. I'm not saying that will work, I'm just saying it's just something else to try. Baffling. Oh, that's the style sheet, we don't want that. Let's do 404.php, where are you? Really can't find 404.php, guys. There it is. Yeah, this doesn't work at all. So this doesn't work. Okay, so we have Aliana and we have HackMe123. It may be possible to get into SSH like this. Okay. It could also be try HackMe being useless and not working, as happens so many times. Yeah, that doesn't work. What else can I do then? I mean, I suppose we've got that SQL injection to try. There's something, this doesn't... I'm so confused. I've just never seen this error before, and I don't quite understand why it does it. What else can I do then? Is the next thing. What else can I do? I think it's going to do this on all of them, not just 404. Yeah, I don't know. Back in a minute. So guess what I just did after a couple of minutes of being confused? I reverted the machine and got a new IP address for it. Edited the 404 page, like before. Hit update file. And file edited successfully. Guys, if your attacks aren't working, it's likely try HackMe being crap. That's all I can say. A lot of time could have been wasted there, but I was so sure that this, because it's an easy level box and it's basically going through some of the more common common things to do, like enumeration and whatever, And for the easy level boxes, if you get access to WordPress, you update a file with a shell, and that's the way in. It's very rare that it's anything else. For medium and harder level, yeah, you might have to go through, like, upload some media or go into the post and look for credentials or mess with plugins or whatever, but no. And I just tried it, and whether it was because of the difference in hostname, AIO, or IP, I'm not sure. This one's annoyed me. This has massively annoyed me. So, tell you what, we're going to just continue and say no more about it for now until I do a massive rant at the end. How's that? We're going to netcat LVP 1234. But it does go to show that, you know, if something doesn't work, it is worth reverting and trying again, especially if you're on like an OSCP system, just to make sure that it's a sanity check. Basically, it is a sanity check, right? So we know that 404 page now causes this issue. So what we're going to do is go back to the WordPress directory, not the issue, the payload. I'd say I'm not even thinking straight now. I'm just so angry. So I'm going. Oh yeah, it's not AIO anymore, is it? Because I changed the thing, but I didn't change it in the host file. So let's just change that to this. There we go. So let's keep this down here so you can see it below my ugly mug there. And we're going to go to this.php and it should load the 404. It doesn't load the 404. That'd be too obvious, wouldn't it? Oh, seriously, man. It doesn't load the 404 at all. Of course it doesn't. Okay, so what we're going to do is go back to our output, WP scan output, which is here, to where it says themes in use 2020. We're going to go to this directory, WordPress WP content themes 2020. Like that. And then we're literally going to load the 404.php. And if you look at the bottom right, oh please, come on, why not? 404.php in 2020. That looks good to me. I mean, what's it under? It's not under JS or assets or anything like this. So why is this not working? Right, what am I missing? Ah, there we go. We've got this AIO.THM. That's my fault. That is absolutely my fault that time. Load it. Shell. Right. Enough of the madness. So, some of this is user error, but some of it isn't. Due to THM being subpar, we try to edit the 404 template page, and it's not allowed. After a revert, it is. ... Okay, and there we go. We basically load that. We'll get a shell in. Right. Thing is, this could have been a good box, but it's just stuff like that, you know. It's bad because if you're learning, you're like, oh, well, you know, it should be working, it's not working. And if you're doing something like following a walkthrough or following my videos or whatever, and you're like, well, why is it working for them and not for me? It can really mess you up and make you think, oh, maybe I'm just not, you know, maybe I just can't do this or whatever. And it's really sad, you know, but this does happen from time to time. I've never had it happen with Hack the Box yet, ever. Try Hack Me, yeah, it happens. It really does. I've had it like 2 or 3 times. Though I think this is the first time, maybe the second time during recording, right? but I've had it on some of the before I started this channel. I did have a try hack me account, and it was literally just going through the very basics and like rooms, which I'm not doing this time round. I'm doing all the ones that I didn't do before, you know. And I'm talking like the learning rooms, and even following the walkthrough, which you're meant to do whilst learning, you know, like these very basic rooms, how to use burp suite, how to use metasploit and all this stuff, and you're following it, and it's like, it doesn't work for me. Like, well, you go onto what there used to be message boards, they've shut them down now, I wonder why. They've go onto the message boards and whatever, and there's so many people with the same problem. I'll try a revert, okay, it works, whatever. Right, I need to stop ranting, done. We are going to cd into home and just see what there is. There's Eliana. We're going to ls into there. Okay, we are actually going to cd then. We're going to cat user.text because we can. No, we can't. Now there's also a hint. So the question is, do I read the hint.txt on how to move forward, or should we just do it without? Let's do it without. We're going to go into temp. We're going to use limpys, which is the biggest hint of all, to be fair. Let's sudo python 3. Okay, so hang on, what am I doing? Don't need to do that in this directory. We need to go into privesc scripts and then do it. And then we can come back to here, and we're going to wget whatever my IP is, Nice. Change the mode of that so it's executable, and then run that. If there's anything red and yellow, we're definitely taking a look. If there's anything red, we are taking a look. If there's anything else, we are taking a look. That is how we do things here. Red and yellow, important, like extremely. Red, important enough to cover. Anything else, still look at it, guys, because there could be something in OPT. We've had that before, and that's not yellow and red, and it's not red or anything. It's just regular text. But we've had files in /OPT. We've had all sorts of different ports open for internal ports, so we could tunnel through into those and load the service, you know, and just stuff like that. I wonder what the hint says. Ooh, we will have to take a look. We'll have to take a look at what the hint says, but not now. We're going to root it first. So I'm playing with Solar. Right, is my fidget toy. So raise the sound. Well, fidget toys, I mean cubes. I'm not a speed cuber. That's not my thing. I find that incredibly boring. But it's just nice to do something. Speaking of doing something, come on. This is taking a while. It's got a lot of broken pipes and things. So all these errors that it's coming up with is because I'm the www data user. And it has very few writes, and so it'll be trying to write things to see if it's writable, and it'll be coming up with errors and all sorts. So technically, as this user, we have the least writes, but we're still seeing if there's anything here which could be useful to leverage. Now, it did say that there's multiple ways in, some intended, some unintended, or whatever, but you know, the first one we find, we're going to use, basically. It looks like there's a lot of capabilities around here. That's really interesting, actually. It's very rare that there's so many. There's tons of capabilities all over the place. Right, well, we'll keep that in mind. What do we have here? Cron jobs. We have a var backup script.sh cron job, which seems to be running. Looks interesting. Let's make a note. Limpy shows cron job. Now, do you see what I mean? That which I just mentioned, this cron job, where is it? Here, it could be the way in, but it's not marked as red and yellow. It's not even marked as red, other than the fact it's got the word root in it, which is what runs it, and all these as well. But it doesn't stand out in any way. But stuff like this can be important, so you got to look through everything. Don't care about listeners. I never care about listeners. There's going to be a box eventually which uses listeners to escalate, and I'll just be ignoring them. Okay, so we've got the database running, and we've already got the password for this database, so there could be some credentials in there to get into Eliana's account. I'm not saying there is, I'm saying there could be. Any interesting programs running? Not really. There's LXC, but I don't know. We're not part of the disk group, so that won't matter. So again, we've got this Eliana and Happy123. So we could go for the database, guys. See if there's anything in there. LDAP. SSH config. Yeah. So we're allowed to, okay, root as FTP, that's fine. I thought that was SSH then, but it's not, so that doesn't matter. Don't care too much about the FTP we're in now. Any SUIDs? Not anything unusual, not anything massively out of the ordinary. Again, we've got these capabilities here. It doesn't look massively important. What do we have here? Oh, look at this. etc mysql private.txt. So we've got this as well. So we've got a private.txt. What else do we have? HT access might have a, oh no, HT password's got passwords in it. HT access hasn't. Users config.php in WordPress, we've read that file. These are to do with the plugins. I'm not too bothered about these. Reflex Gallery, and these are the themes 2019, etc. We know about this one. We've read this one. And then we have nothing important. So I suppose the easiest thing for us to do will be to read this to start with. Okay, so we can get in as Eliana, which we'll do in a moment. In fact, we may as well do it now. There's no reason not to. Then we could run Limpies again and see if we've got any more rights, but I think I'm going to look into this cron job actually in a sec. Can we SSH? Because that's going to make my life so much easier. Whatever the new IP is. (1081.150.38). Brilliant. So now we've got a proper shell. I'm actually going to kill this one. And I'm going to move this one over here. Nice. Nice. We have SSH access. So life is easier now, because if something goes wrong and I have to revert, we can just use these credentials and get straight back in. That's fine. I'm intrigued about this cron job. It runs as root var backups script.sh. Let's see what's in here. Just a test script, might use it later for a cron task. Oh, well, that's just asking for trouble. That's just asking for trouble. Oh, everybody's got right access to it. So basically, we just need to change this cron script and wait for it to run. Can't get much easier than that, can it? So let's go to hack resources, reverse shell. Should we do the bash shell? Could do. We could do. So let's put that in here. Let's get our IP, which I'm sure we've had once or twice already. There it is. Oops. Oh, stop it. 8080 is probably fine, to be fair, for a port. So we are going to clear that. We're going to nc lvp 8080 and we wait for our root shell. But before then, we need to echo this appended to this file. Go away. And I'm rather hoping, I don't know how long it runs. It could be every minute, every 5 minutes, every whatever. We'll wait until 3:11 at the top here. Oh, it's 3:11. And there we go. Who am I? Bang. So that was fine. That was fine, not a problem. Good box, apart from the fact I had to revert it. Whatever. But to be fair, that's not an issue with the box, I don't think. That's an issue with TryHackMe's infrastructure, which, to be fair, is just as bad, isn't it? Okay. So we are going to cat home Eliana. What is it? User.text. And then how weird. We're going to cat root / root.text. Are these base 64 encoded? I'll just do it here. Echo that into yeah, they are. Gee, that's made it so much more fun adding that. Yeah, I'm going to remove 1 point, I think, from my estimation of this box just for this. On the whole, a very meh experience, but whatever, with that, can't win them all. All in one, eh? All in one. Thank you for joining. I appreciate your support. I'm sorry for my complaining, but I think it was justified in this case. I appreciate everything, actually. Please keep the likes coming, and please subscribe if you haven't. Share the video around, share the playlist around if you can, and scroll down to review your progress, apparently. I don't want to debrief. What is this? What are they doing? Fix your boxes before doing crap like this. No, I'm not dealing with that. Echo and whatever. Actually, I'm intrigued. I'm intrigued about this. Congratulations on successfully leveraging the credentials Michael Michelle to obtain a user shell via SSH. It doesn't even... TryHackMe is awful. Honestly, guys, switch to HTTP. Oh dear. Please visit Nethemba.com for all your pen testing needs. Appreciate you all. Goodbye.